Hi you guys, today we're going to start our unit on conic sections, and what you can see here on the screen is that we actually have a conic section. So if we break down the word conic sections, actually the two words conic sections, conic is a derivative of the word cone, and it's in the shape of a cone. Section means just that. You're actually taking specific cross sections at various places throughout the cone. So what you can see up here is we've got this shape is made from cutting directly horizontal in a cone. Okay, and you can see on the right side what happens to the graph as you cut at different angles. Okay, so as you can see, again, we start by cutting at a horizontal cut, and we end up with a shape that should be relatively familiar to all of us. It's a circle, and we're going to start rotating these cuts so you can see what happens to the graph. Okay, so here we go. So let's start rotating that cut. We're going to start going on a little bit more of a diagonal, and you can see that what happens is the circle sort of stretches so that it's no longer actually a circle, but it is an oval. So that oval has a name for itself in math. Just like the exclamation point that we learned how to name of factorial, this oval has a name and it's called an ellipse. Okay, so you can see that over here, this ellipse is created by making more of a diagonal cut. Okay, so the sides of the ellipse are created by the sides of the cone. Okay, so here we go. Let's keep rotating and see what happens. All right, so if we keep rotating, you see what happens is now the slice is still on a diagonal, but the slice comes out of the bottom of the cone. All right, and what happens is, I hope we can all see this shape over here. It looks very similar to one of the shapes that we have studied before, because it is. This is a parabola. Okay, we spent a lot of time, and you can see how the shape of the parabola changes. We spent quite a bit of time looking at the coefficients a, b, and c in y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Well, that's also shown or demonstrated here. Now this line right here, that actually is not part of the graph itself. So that just shows you this line right here corresponds to this line. But as far as the graph itself is just this curved part, or the parabola. Okay, so now some of you might be wondering, well, what happens if we keep going? Do we end up actually going through the other side of the cone? Well, let's find out. So let's keep rotating. Okay, so you can see now what's happening is, yes, we have now a vertical cut that's made through both cones, and you end up with what looks like double parabolas here, and double parabolas that are symmetrical about the x-axis. So this actually has a name. It's not a parabola, it's a hyperbola. Okay, so we will start. This is the introduction, obviously, to this unit, but we're going to start looking at the graphs in detail, and we're going to analyze them, look at how to graph them, and we're going to do some really fun activities. So stay tuned.